Hello Hashima, this video is for Tuesday, April 28th for math. Today you're working on lesson 95, which is really a continuation of what we did yesterday with converting metric units. So you're going to convert metric measurements in word problems today. So it's a little bit more tricky because you actually have to apply it and notice the units attached to the different numbers in the word problem and then figure out what to do. So the same idea as yesterday, each unit in the metric system is 10 times the value of the unit to its right and 1/10 the value of the unit to its left. So the bigger units, the larger units are over here, kilo, hecto, and deca. Then you have your home base units, the units that don't have any prefixes, meters, grams, and liters. And then on the smaller side, you have deci, centi, and milli. So the smallest one is milligram, milliliter, millimeter, and the biggest one is kilogram, kiloliter, and kilometer. So you have to figure out if you're going from a big unit to a small unit or a small unit to a big unit when you are converting, so that you can understand whether or not you need to multiply or divide. So if you just think about if you were a meter, which you're not, but if you were a meter and you were converted into a centimeter, what would happen to you? And the truth is that if you were a meter, you would shrink down to become a centimeter to 1/100th of your size, meaning that instead of being only 1 meter, you would be 100 centimeters. In the other way, if you were a milligram and you got converted to a gram, that means you're starting as something really, really small and becoming something bigger. So that would mean you would get 1,000 times bigger and that there would only be 0.001 of you instead of 1,000. So when you convert, you're changing where the decimal point is to turn it or convert it into a different unit. So looking at example A for lesson 95, this is a word problem, so you have to notice where the units are. They're typically next to the numbers. And then look at the question and see what unit it's asking you to change it to. So it says one of the largest recorded pythons measured 7.3 meters long. And we want to find the length of that python in centimeters. So I circled the home base unit because we're starting at meters. And then I put an X on centimeters. So that's 2 hops away, meaning that meters and centimeters are 10 to the second power different. So if 7.3 meters is what we're starting with and we're trying to go to centimeters, we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, which means we're going to multiply by 100. So 7.3 times 10 to the second power is 730 centimeters. So you are taking the decimal point and moving it 2 places to the right in order to multiply it by 100. The next problem is multi-step, but only just slightly. It's not super tricky, but you do need to notice the units before you solve. So Eric and Frankie commute to school every day. Eric walks 81/100ths kilometers and Frankie walks 65/100ths kilometers. How many meters did they walk in total? So 2 steps. 1, add them up because we're trying to find a total. So add Frankie and Eric's distances. Step 2 is to convert the total kilometers into meters, because if you look at the question, it's asking you for meters. So first what I did over here is added 81/100ths plus 65/100ths, and that gives you 1 46/100ths kilometers, 1.46. So now the next step is to turn the kilometers into meters. So I wrote out my acronym down here. And I'm going from kilometers to meters, which is 3 hops to the right, meaning that you're going to multiply by 1,000 this time. So that means you're going to move the decimal 3 places to the right. And when you do that, you will get 1,460 meters. So it's a little bit complicated. Make sure that you're using the acronym to help you. Count the hops. Think about whether you're going from big to small. That means you multiply, or small to big. That means you divide. So think about it logically and go step by step, show your work, circle the numbers, and make sure that you are labeling units so that you don't accidentally leave that out from your work. See you later on Zoom.